Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com here in the Built with Chocolate Milk Coaches Lounge at the THSCA Coaching School and Convention with the head coach of your Splendora Wildcats, Coach Marcus Schulz. Hey, Coach.
Good morning.
First and foremost, we need to get this out of the way. This is for the sake of full disclosure. You are a frequent TFT viewer. You are somebody who listens to the podcast and watches the show. What does it feel like to be in the vicinity of Max Thompson?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Just the aura around here.
There's just a vibe around him, right? It's really interesting.
Rubbing off right now.
So let's talk about 2018 because we could talk. You know, I feel like that's something that you're gonna have no problem talking about because that was an incredible season, quite literally the best season in Splendora high school football history, a 10-2 mark. I guess you had kind of told me before the season you thought you guys had a chance to do something special.
Right.
What was it that clicked? What was it that really made that year so special?
I think it is a combination of a lot of stuff. I think it's our kids finally believing, figuring out that they're as good as what we had been preaching to them. They had been beat down for so long, and once that they started catching that belief and started feeling like they were good enough to compete with the teams that we were playing, once that happened, then of course, we always told them the wins would come once we got our culture and our character and that stuff taken care of and our work ethics down, then the wins will come. And, once they started coming early, then they got that confidence in them. And
you guys were able to, as we mentioned, it's the best season in program history, but beyond that, the first playoff win in program history.
Right.
For you personally, you have been through this. You've been the coach there 5 seasons, entering your 6th season, and it's been a grind for a number of those seasons. What was that moment like for you to get that playoff win?
It was awesome. Just to see the kids' faces and the emotion that they all had, as well as the staff. The coaching staff that was there. A lot of them had been there. I brought in a few guys myself, but some of those guys that were Splendora, born and grew up there and played there. And so to see the excitement and emotion on their faces, knowing that we got that monkey off of our back and were able to win that first playoff game in school history was amazing. And, it just gives us something to build on for the upcoming season. And we're bringing back a good group of kids that I think are going to be up for that task.
Yeah, I'm kind of heading forward into 2019, this is now a team with expectations, and this is another first for Splendora is now you guys enter the year arguably with a target on your back. How is there a different feeling around the program because of that?
There is, and you said grind earlier. That's our motto, and it stands for guts, relentless intensity. Never quit, and then dominate on Friday, our Monday through Friday days. And that's the attitude that they have, and starting these summer workouts, we start off a little slow with about 60, 65 kids, the athletes that showed up, and, then we built up to about 90 to 95, and that's kind of where we've been. And for us, that's a great number. But these kids know, it's one of those deals that I kind of said, we've been chasing the target. We've been chasing that target. Now the target's on your back. It's a different expectation now. It's a different feeling, and these guys know that now everybody's hunting them. The teams that we had never beat before that we beat last year are now going to want revenge. So we've got to make sure that we prepare this summer and that we do what we're supposed to do day in and day out to prepare for next season.
Because it seems to me, just in covering high school football, that when teams have success, especially for the first or one of the first few times, that it's one of two things. Either they get complacent, or it gets contagious. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, man, I want to keep going to that. It seems to me, from what you're saying, that it's the latter, that these guys are like, all right, that was fun. Let's go do that and more, right?
Yeah. It is. It's definitely contagious, and it's spilled over into our younger kids. Mm-hmm. And our younger kids see what took place, and they were a part of it, and our whole community bought into what we were doing. And it's just it's a totally different feel, these last couple of years from our community standpoint on what they've poured into our program and into our kids. And, our kids see that, and our kids get that feeling, and they want more of it. And now that they've got that taste of what the playoffs are and what the playoffs are like, our senior class that's coming in, they want to repeat and better what we did last year and make more history.
And now, there is the idea, though, that, the senior class you're losing was special. What are we doing? Oh, my gosh. Ignore him. If you ignore Jeff Reardon, he'll just go away. He's like a Tyrannosaurus Rex. You know what I mean? If you golly, caught me off guard. Okay. You're also losing the senior class that not only did they have some really special playmakers, but it seemed to me, and this is, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed to me from afar that you had some very special leaders in that group, and you had some guys who really took ownership of the team. Right. How do you replace? I know you're going to have some athletes this year. Gamble, I know, is a guy you're really excited about, but how do you replace that kind of leadership?
It's going to be tough, and that's what we've kind of preached all summer in workouts is. You seniors have got to step up and replace what left. The Jesse Paris and the Kyle Weber and the Matthew Morris and those guys that are gone now were the ones that drove that field house. And they were the ones that were running the mouths and telling them, what we need to do. And those guys were respected, and I think that, the seniors that are coming in are respected and definitely a group that have some standards to own up to, and I think from what I've seen and what we've seen as a staff this summer, that it's definitely going to take place, and those guys are going to step up and do it. And we have senior-led workouts coming up, so we'll see what those guys can get done.
Your son Cal's here.
He is.
How old is he?
He's 8.
Can we get a scouting report on Cal Schulz?
He's the dude. He's a baseball guy right now. I don't have him into football. He plays some flag football. But he is a baseball guy. And
what position in baseball?
He is right now he's coach pitch, so he's a pitcher. He's over the pitcher, but during the season, that was all-stars. During the season, he played first base. But struck out one time all season, so he's got a good little bat on him.
That's pretty good.
That's good.
Some good plate discipline then.
Got a little speed, so that's good.
Like his dad. Yeah. It's Marcus Schulz of the Splendora Wildcats joining us here in the Built with Chocolate Milk Coach's Lounge, but we now need to turn our attention to the Dick's Sporting Goods Wheel of Questions. Dick'sSportingGoods.com sponsoring this. If you want to give this thing a spin,
all right,
and we'll see what lands on for Marcus Schulz. Dick'sSportingGoods.com. They want me to say it. All right. Okay. What is your game day superstition? What is something that you have to do every game day, or it's just going to throw you off?
Game day superstition. Every day, every game, got to go to the gas station, get a Red Bull and some bubble gum. I've got to have at least 10 pieces of bubble gum.
10 pieces of bubble gum?
Go through 10 pieces a game usually.
What kind of what are we talking about bubble gum? Are we talking like the double bubble?
The double bubble.
Really, like just the old school bubble gum?
Old school bubble gum, the green and purple. We've got a gas station there in town that's got it.
So you're just chomping on it on the sideline?
Yes. And on the turf, it's usually not it's frowned upon to have gum on turf, but I've got to have it.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's when you know you've made it in Splendora ISD, is when you can chew bubble gum on the turf.
That's it.
That's big. That's big doings. Marcus Schulz, Splendora Wildcats. Coach, appreciate your time. Congratulations again on a great 2018. Let's go do it again in 2019.
Appreciate it. Thank y'all.